Week 6 spread picks. Here we go, man. I am up by 3 points on you. We'll see what happens this week. See if you can close the gap. Let's start with Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens going to Tennessee to take on the Titans. Ravens favored by 4 points on the road.
I'm going to take the Ravens -4 here because, well, it's Ryan Tannehill and I just can't trust him. But I will say the Ravens, I could see it going the other way for the Titans and them pulling out on top somehow. But ultimately, I think the Ravens still win. It's going to be Ravens -4. They may win by a touchdown or more.
I definitely think they win the game. The spread concerns me. Yes, they lost to the Steelers last week. It was kind of a crazy game. A lot had to go wrong. Steelers always play them tough. The Ravens are a very good football team. Lamar is playing really well. They're going to be there at the end of the season. They always are. This game could go anyway. Don't like the 4 points, but I agree with you. I'm taking Ravens, and I'm giving up the 4. Let's go to Cincinnati and the Seahawks. Seattle travels to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. Bengals are favored by 3 points at home, which is kind of interesting, but Joe Burrow did look good last week, like a return to form. Ryan, this is such a crucial game for Cincinnati because after this, they've got San Francisco and Buffalo. They're at 2 and 3. They're at the bottom of their division. They have to win this game. Give me the Bengals to win and to cover.
This is a crucial game, like you stated, for the Bengals. If I'm a Bengals fan, this is the game I have my eyes on to see how the rest of the season may turn out. I think that the Bengals are coming off a really hot week against Arizona. Granted, not the best team to hang your hat on. However, the Seahawks are coming off a bye week in week 5. Coming into this week, I think they're going to be fired up, ready to go. Geno Smith is going to have this team electrifying up and down the field. I think that the Seahawks play it close. I think the Bengals come out on top, but I still take the Seahawks +3. I think it'll be a really close game here.
The Indianapolis Colts go to Jacksonville, AFC South matchup. No Anthony Richardson. He's out for who knows how long. Guy's amazing, but he can't stay on the field. But Shane Steichen and Gardner Minshew look pretty good. The Jaguars are favored by 4 at home, but I'm taking the Colts plus the 4. I think they keep it close, if not win the football game.
I got to agree with you, man. Like, Jacksonville's coming off 2 big wins in London, and they're going to be tired,
right?
To say the least. And they played 2 really good games in London and did really well. But I think that the Colts, Minshew magic, man, it's a thing. He still finds ways to win games, and he's a really good backup quarterback, man. He always has been, and he is for the Colts here. And I think that with Jonathan Taylor back in full swing, last week was a little, wishy-washy, but it was his first week back. You got to get him into the game plan. I think they'll figure it out this week, and I think that the Colts +4 here is the way to go.
Agree with you. I actually think they're going to win the game. They always seem to have Jacksonville's number, but that's going to be a fun one to watch because the AFC South could go any direction. The Detroit Lions, the NFL darlings, as I call them, head to Tampa to take on what could be a really tough challenge from the Buccaneers trying to win the South. Lions are favored by 3 points on the road against Baker and the Bucs.
I think I showed my cards a little bit earlier in this episode, but I do believe that the Lions -3 here is the pick to go with because I think the Lions are just going to really into the 3rd, 4th quarter run away with this game, and the Bucs just won't be able to keep up offensively. Baker Mayfield's going to make mistakes in crunch time. I still think he has those demons that haunt him, and I think this Lions defensive line is going to overwhelm the Bucs offensive front, and they're going to sack Baker Mayfield at least 4 times.
I don't know if I agree with all the little statistics you threw out, but I do agree that the Lions are going to find a way to win. It's going to be close for a little bit, but the physicality of Detroit will overwhelm Tampa at some point. Detroit's got the high-powered offense they had last season, but now they've got a top 10 defense. Aiden Hutchinson is playing like an all-pro. I think they agree with you. They're going to overwhelm Baker and force him into mistakes. Even though he's been good this year, I think ultimately Detroit's going to be too much. They win the game and they cover. Monday Night Football, the Dallas Cowboys, after getting absolutely embarrassed by the 49ers, now they go back to the West Coast to take on Justin Herbert and the Chargers, who are trying to piece together a season. Cowboys are favored by 2 points, and I am going to take the Cowboys to cover here. I know the Chargers could do anything on any given week, but the Cowboys do this. They lose the really big games and then they win the other ones. Coming off that loss, they're going to be refocused. They're going to be determined. I think they're going to find a way to win this football game by a field goal or a touchdown, and the Chargers are going to start looking for head coaches. The Cowboys course correct here.
Yeah, well, it's their second primetime game in 2 weeks in a row, and I think that last week shook them because we all thought that the Cowboys were a lot better than what they put out on the field last week. San Francisco is that good, but I think the Cowboys are not as good as many, at least defensively, as many thought, including myself. So I'm going to take the Chargers +2 here. Austin Eckler's coming back. Well, there's about a 99% chance of him returning this week is what I heard last. So he'll be playing. And I think that, with the Chargers, when the Chargers have their whole team healthy and Austin Eckler on the field, anything is possible. It's at home for the Chargers, too. I think that's going to be a pretty big impact. And I just don't think that Dallas will necessarily bounce back like you think they will. I think it's going to take a couple of weeks for them to figure out some things because they looked really shaky last week, man. I know they played San Francisco, but they looked bad.
But let's go to our all-in. If you get this one right, it's 3 points. It's the best chance to make up ground. Ryan, you are trailing by 3 in the standings, so you go first. What is your all-in?
Give me Dan Campbell and those Lions.
Lion, baby. -3 at Tampa. I like it. I'm going to go with Indianapolis. That Minshew magic, I think they win the game, so I'll gladly take the 4. I'm all in on the Colts. Those are our Week 6 picks. The only difference is I've got the Bengals, you've got the Seahawks, I've got the Cowboys, you've got the Chargers. I'm all in on the Colts. You're all in on the Lions.